why I'm doing this. Why am I putting myself out into the world as someone who knows a little bit about business and trying to gather some people together to talk about it. And it really is a story of passion, if you like, but certainly a commitment to something that I've spent 35 years of my life being involved in. And people ask me, well, you know, why do you want to do this? I mean, it's a whole bunch of work to get 40 people in a room. And why do you, well, aside from you get to laugh at my jokes, which is, but aside from that, why do you want to do this? And I'm going to explain to you why. I do it for this guy. So this guy over here is my business owner mate. There are two of them. I call this one Stressly and that one Smugly. Smugly over there's got everything organised, but this guy, he really does not. And he's a persona, if you like, but he's a representation of a real person. So a real person had no plan for life after business, loved what he was doing. It was all working along quite nicely. Business was going great. He was actually counting on the value of that business to fund his retirement. Probably didn't want to retire at all anyway. He hadn't actually paid himself for years. So every now and then he'd sort of withdraw $5,000 from the business, but no regular income, nothing that he could use to plan what was going ahead in his future. He was counting on the value of the business, right? If I grow the business big enough, it'll be fine. And the business was quite successful for a lot of years. He actually never contributed to super for himself. He couldn't afford it. There was no money to go into his superannuation account. He was spending it all, reinvesting it back into the business. And he hadn't told his kids that they were his succession plan. And when he did get around to telling them, they didn't want it. So he's still working and he's now well into his 70s. And he'd spent all his time in the business struggle and he'd lost his marriage. And after a competitor took half his business away, he spent the last money that he had on trying to beat them. And in the end, he walked away from the business with nothing to show for 40 years of hard slog and applied for Centrelink age pension. I want to try and stop as many people as I can from having that experience. And by getting people together and getting them to share their successes, and by getting them to improve their businesses, and to think about their businesses as just a thing in their lives and not the entirety of their lives, I hope that I'll be able to achieve that.